Hi, this is Tony Stewart along with Aaron Badgley of M2M Productions, and we are joined today by a very special guest. We've got Bernard Frazer from Church of Trees, and he's going to be talking about their new album called Transience. And Bernard, first of all, welcome, and I can't believe I'm saying this again, but I think you guys have outdone yourselves one more time, because what a fantastic album this is.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So the first thing I'd like to know, and then Aaron, if you have any questions, Transience. First, can you tell me where that title is coming from? What is the significance of that?
Well, Transience, both the title and the song, it ties into the main concept of the album, which is one of change. So transience really is synonymous with change. And I was, for this particular album, I was really kind of captivated by the concept of how we are beholden to change in all aspects of life, whether it's personal change, social change, planetary change. So I was really, and it's something that's inescapable. So I really wanted to dive into that concept in all of its facets.
So Bernard, tell us about the song That's All.
That's All is the first track on the album. And it's a song, I mean, it really kind of frames not only the album in terms of the concept for the album, but it also sort of it frames the way I am feeling about the change in our music and the way that I'm feeling about the many sort of disastrous changes in the world. That's All is really a rant. It's me ostensibly watching the news and ranting on all of the despicable, horrendous things that are happening around the world, and it just seems to be growing and growing, and I'm in horror.
Let's have a listen to this from the Church of Trees' new album called Transience. This is the lead-off track, That's All.
The
From Transience, Church of Trees with That's All, we are in studio with Bernard Frazer. And Bernard, the lineup of Church of Trees, you have developed and brought along some incredible vocalists. And I wonder if you could take a few moments and just talk about the current lineup on this project.
The current lineup. Well, it's, I guess we'd start off with Stella Panacci, who was key on the Pish Posh album and also is heard on the Courage album. And so we've been working together for, I guess, a couple of years now. And I found her through Jordan Zadarozny, who is the Church of Trees audio guru and the lead in the band Blinker the Star. And he had, one day because I've been going through a number of vocalists over the years, and I was desperate to find somebody new. And he said, why don't you reach out to Stella? And I knew of Stella. I knew of his work or her work with Blinker the Star and all of the, they've worked on many projects over the years. And I just didn't think that she would be interested in something like this because she's more of a rock vocalist. And he said, she'll surprise you. So I reached out and she said, yeah, that's great. And we've been working together ever since. We started working with Heather Brazeau about a year ago to get ready for our live show, and she just bowled me over, I should say. Brilliant vocalist. She's a vocal coach, great personality, and she's been really key in developing all of the vocal arrangements for this album. So we've been working pretty closely together. Of course, Jordan Zadarozny is my go-to guy whenever I need anything. He's a multi-instrumentalist, so he'll lay down guitar, he'll lay down bass, he'll lay down drums, he'll lay down vocals, most of which he did on this album. And Bob Prendergast, who was our guitar player for live versions, sadly he had to go back to the States, but that didn't prevent him from providing guitar tracks over the internet. But I also reached out to an old friend of mine, Larry Bethune, and I've known Larry since I was a kid. He was the guitar player in my very first band when I was a teenager, and happened to be the guitar player for Alana Miles back in the 80s. And in fact, I would go on stage with Alana, and typically she would ask me to open her second set. So I'd open her second set, and it was just the coolest experience to be on stage with Alana, with Larry. And so it was nice to bring Larry back into the fold and have him play on it. Kelly Scott of Failure plays drums on the lead single, That's All. And that's pretty much it. Oh, Rob Pruce. We're working with Rob Pruce again on a remix, and Rob Stewart, who was all over the Courage album. So we've got a really full roster, and it was really exciting to be working with all of these different sort of creative types.
The Church of Trees are no stranger to doing cover versions. Your brilliant 5 years is fantastic. This album features a cover of a Ramones song, Pet Sematary, which I thought initially was an odd choice for you guys to tackle. I really did. I thought, what's Bernard up to here? Let's talk about Pet Sematary, Bernard.
Pet Sematary wasn't my idea. In fact, we had the album completely mapped out, and Pet Sematary was not on my radar. And one day, Heather sent me over a demo with her voice and piano singing this Ramones song. And when she first said, I'm going to send you a Ramones song, I thought, okay, this is going to be interesting. And but it's a testament to how gorgeous her demo was. I was completely bowled over and immediately leapt into action. Just from that sort of piano and voice demo, I could hear the production. I knew exactly what it was going to sound like. So we leapt into action, and I think we had it done literally within a week or so. And it doesn't hurt the fact that I'm a huge Ramones fan, and in fact got to meet and hang with Joey Ramone a little bit back in 1981. They were in town in Toronto promoting, I think it was Pleasant Dreams. It's the one that was produced by Graham Goldman of 10cc. And we were at Nuts and Bolts, the dance club in downtown Toronto. And this tall, gangly, long-haired guy sort of saunters in, black leather jacket, greasy hair, sunglasses. And I knew instantly who it was. And I turned to Larry. Larry Bethune, my guitar player, was also the DJ at Nuts and Bolts. I turned to Larry and I said, that's effing Joey Ramone. So I had to. I ran up to him and I said, "Man, Joey, great to see you here. Great to meet you. Can I buy you a beer?" I bought him, I think it was a Molson Export because he loved the creaminess of Canadian ale, and picked his brain all manner of things, including why he was in town, because I hadn't heard that they put a new album out. So, anyways, it was just the most remarkable thing. And so to be able to honor him and honor them by doing our rendition of Pet Sematary, I just overjoyed.
Well, let's give it a spin. From Transience, here are Church of Trees and Pet Sematary.
Under the arc of weather-stained boards, ancient goblins and warlords come out the ground, not making a sound. The smell of death is all around. In the night when the cold wind blows, no one cares, nobody knows. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't wanna live my life again. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't wanna live my life again. Follow Victor to the sacred place. This ain't a dream I can't escape. Molars and fangs, the clicking of bones, spirits moaning among the tombstones. In the night when the moon is bright, someone cries, something ain't right. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. Don't wanna live my life again. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. Don't wanna live my life And the night when the wolves cry out, listen close and you can hear me shout. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. Don't wanna live my life again. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. Don't wanna live my life
An incredible cover version of an incredible song, Pet Sematary. Absolutely stunning on all levels. Now, Bernard, you mentioned earlier about performing live and musicians who are on the album are in your performing band, live band. How important is it for you to get back on the road, do some shows? I saw you in Toronto, and by the way, you were fantastic. But how important is it for you in Church of Trees to get back on the road and play in front of a live audience?
Playing live, I still think, is a pretty important way to promote the band and promote the new product. Connecting with people is just so key. And we don't get to do it often enough. So I am pushing to put an even bigger band together so that at some point, it won't be when we release the album, but at some point, hopefully in the summer, we can get back on the road. But it's making that sort of physical connection with people. I think is really important to, particularly when you're able to get off stage and have a chat. I think that kind of personal connection is key. It gives people a sense of who you really are and puts personality to the band.
And you have a snazzy on-stage outfit, by the way. Just saying. One of my favorite tracks on the album is Desolation. And as much as I love the female vocals on the album, I love you as a vocalist. Let's talk a bit about Desolation, Bernard.
Desolation is probably the first song on the album that's in my voice that I wrote. And, I have always kind of wrestled with whether or not I should be singing on the albums. When we first started out back in 2016, I had vowed that this is going to be a female-led band. And I really enjoyed that in the first couple of iterations of Church of Trees. There were different voices, but I really loved it because it wasn't... I wanted more femininity. I wanted more female empowerment to drive the band because there's too much male in music, I think. But I guess a couple of albums in, I started giving myself permission to sing. And I think it was back in New Bold Dawn. I didn't sing alone. I sang a couple of songs with the other singers. I think that one was with Allison and with Tara. And the wonderful thing was the combination of voices I really loved. Sort of the blend of male and female. It kind of felt whole, like there'd always been something missing, so it was nice to be rounded out like that. And then, over time, I started singing some of the songs myself and kind of liked it. I don't think I'd ever want to do an album completely of me. I really want to have that balance of male and female. But I think by this album, by Transience, I felt confident enough to start singing a number of the songs on my own. And in fact, I think I sing about half the album. But one of the great things about this is that I'm singing a lot with Heather Brazeau. And the combination of our voices is wonderful. And so Desolation was actually supposed to be a song that she and I were to sing together. Sadly, she was sick the day that we went in to record it. So I ended up recording all the vocals myself, thinking that at some point in the future, we would have her come back and join in, but that never worked out, and I ended up singing myself. I really loved it. The song itself is about addiction. It's also about personal change and personal growth. I don't want to say anything more too specific about it because I prefer people read the lyrics and sort of take what they can themselves as opposed to me interpreting it.
Well, that sounds perfect. So why don't we hear Desolation from the album Transience?
Somewhere in the depths of my mind, I
From the album Transience, that was Church of Trees with Desolation. And just a reminder that we are here with Bernard Frazer from Church of Trees. The next track that we're going to talk about is Lost in the Ether. And this one, Bernard, features you and Heather both singing. And I'm wondering if you could tell us about Heather's involvement in the vocal arrangements, because you had mentioned early on in the interview about her being a vocal coach. And how much of a role did she have to play in terms of setting up these vocal arrangements across the album and on this song in particular?
Heather was a huge asset in terms of arranging vocals across the album, certainly with Lost in the Ether, but right across the album, I got to really rely on her sensibility. She's a vocal coach. She's got an amazing ear. She's got a great ear for harmony. And in fact, we started pushing ourselves to find the most interesting harmonies we could find in various songs, and really sort of pushing the limits, getting pretty experimental. And in fact, in one of the songs in Transience, the title track, we do some really, it may not be that obvious, but we do some really odd things, some very 10cc sort of things. I'm thinking of their song "Not in Love." But for Lost in the Ether, it was also an opportunity to work with Heather as more of a duo. I really wanted to get to find kind of a balance between our voices so that it came across more of a duet. When I was thinking about the song and thinking about the vocal arrangements, the song that came to my mind was "Future So Bright I Gotta Wear Shades" by Timbuk 3. And I was looking to try to capture some of that essence where there's a perfect balance between the male and female vocal, such that they're singing together. One's not background vocal and the other's the lead singer. They're both lead singers. And that was the attempt with Lost in the Ether, was for us to sing a duet. We're not singing separately, but we're singing entirely together the whole time. And there's that perfect sort of 50-50 balance between our voices.
So here it is, Lost in the Ether from the Church of Trees album, Transience.
In this bed, soaked and stained,
Church of Trees from the album Transience, and that was Lost in the Ether. Next up, we're going to talk about a song called My Best Mistake, and I find this title captivating because, you know, just the idea of a best mistake, and I'm sure we've all had moments in our own lives when something has turned out to be a great mistake. But Bernard, I wanted to ask you the backstory behind this title, behind the lyrics here.
My Best Mistake is kind of an oddity in that it sounds like a kind of upbeat, happy, fun song, but it's actually about addiction. And I'm someone who wrestled with addiction. I was an alcoholic. I am a recovering alcoholic. And when someone is addicted, it's almost like the drug of choice is the best mistake. It's something they crave, they have to do, but it's the worst thing for them. And so I was picturing that drug of choice as my best mistake. But it's a song that is also, I mean, it's about, again, personal change. It's about growth, and it's about being able to look back and see that we do make mistakes, but we can learn from them. And I think I learned a big, big lesson in terms of recovering from addiction.
So let's have a listen. This is Best Mistake by Church of Trees from Transience. From Transience, that was Church of Trees with My Best Mistake. We are chatting with Bernard Frazer. Bernard, I want to talk to you about your collaboration with Rob Pruce. And you and Rob have done quite a few collaborations over the last few albums. And the idea that you can write a song and then turn it over to someone else and have him or her just totally strip it down and reorganize it, is that something that you take a very hands-off approach on and you just say, you know what, Rob, do your thing and we'll go with it? Or what's your process there in terms of how you feel about that, and how trusting are you is what I'm trying to get at, I guess.
When you work with remixers, it's really important to have complete respect in their art. So consequently, you tend to be pretty careful about people you choose to be in that role. And I learned very quickly that with Rob Pruce, I could trust him completely. And when you're in a remix situation, you really do have to take a leap of faith and just give it over to that other person and let them have their way with it. Because if you get involved in their process, it's not truly a remix anymore, because I'm controlling it, and I shouldn't be controlling the remix process. And I mean, Rob is such a brilliant composer, player, performer. I mean, he's been in the business for a long time, not just with Spoons and Honeymoon Suite, but the many years that he was on Broadway as a music director. I mean, the man knows music inside and out. So when I approach him for a remix, it's a leap of faith. I hand it off to him and just let him do whatever he's going to do. I don't try to make changes. The one time I actually tried to make a change was really early on. It was the first album that we worked on was The Dark and the Light back in 2018. And he remixed one of my songs and took out something that I thought was really important. And I asked him to put it back. And he said, no, I'm not going to, because it's against what I'm trying to do. And at that point, I realized that what a huge mistake I had made, that I should never be asking anybody to change anything. And so from that point forward, I hand him the project, and I know that he's going to come back with something incredible. And it's Rob's production. It's not my production.
So I guess the lesson to be learned is, if you're going to ask somebody to remix, just park your ego and let them have at it. And so let's talk about the remix that Rob did, the Rob Pruce Midnight mix of It's Over on this album.
I can't let an album go by and not have Rob involved in some respect. So I'm not sure if I'd sent him It's Over or I had him listen to a couple of the demos and he chose that. I don't remember which. I think I might have sent it to him. Oh, I think I sent him two, and that was the one he chose. Once again, I hand the baby off and he takes the baby and changes the baby and lets the baby grow up, and then hands it back to me as an adult, a fully formed adult. And it was brilliant. And what a lovely thing he did with this one. It's got a very ABBA-ish late 70s quasi-disco flavor, which is very much Rob. Rob loves that era. If you ever follow any of his posts, he's constantly talking about the 70s and the pop sensibilities of the 70s, including disco. He loves disco. So you kind of know what flavor he's going to put on it, or what spin he's going to put on it when you send it over. But I just absolutely floored with the production, because it's brilliant, and Heather's voice never sounded so great.
Well, let's listen to it now from Transience. This is the Rob Pruce Midnight mix of It's Over by Church of Trees.
It's over, the Rob Bruce Midnight Mix. Not to be confused with the Skylight Mix. No, just kidding. So, Bernard, let's talk about another track on the album that is one of my favorites, and you've graciously allowed me to choose this one because I love the song, and I think it's one of your finest vocal performances, quite frankly. Let's talk about Restraint.
Restraint is about, well, I hate to say it, but it's about child abuse and addiction. It's kind of a loose reference to my own childhood. My father was quite abusive and a raging alcoholic. And, again, the album is about change, and in this case, personal change. And I kind of reflected on how horrendous those kinds of situations can be. And my situation, I'm sure, is not nearly as bad as many, many people's situation growing up in abusive households. But it's about being able to reflecting on that period in your life, but being able to climb out of it and move forward. It takes a lot, but it can be done. And I guess it's just kind of a statement to whomever might be going through it that things can get better.
You use the word change when you're talking about transients. I'm also going to use the word surviving, because when I listened to the album, it's an arc about getting through things and coming out at the other end and surviving, but not just surviving, prospering as well. Was that, I'm going to assume that was intentional on your part.
It was intentional. You're right. I kind of hate to use the word survival when it comes to talking about myself, but certainly in other people's situations, I think survival is a very apt word because, that's people can have to deal with some pretty difficult periods in their life, and particularly when one has an abusive parent. And self-awareness is a rare commodity in the world. And wouldn't it be great if we were all sort of born with a handbook to, a road to self-awareness? But many, many people never realize who they truly are and how they impact other people's lives, particularly when it comes to parents and their impact on their kids, because it's all about me. So yeah, survival is a really good word to pick when it comes to that song.
It's an excellent song. So why don't we listen to it and enjoy Restraint from Transience by Church of Trees.
Mist diffused of you. unconscious minds where ego dare not roll. Childish dreams and cosmic schemes live free and all alone. Where inside this tattered child life feel hard to stray. Dad's first slap, mom's first curse tore innocence away. The first drink always soothes the nerves, second numbs the pain. Free and forged lead to more. With 5 the rants begin. In a wrestle with the ebb and flow, the prophets never tell. The only fight we ever had is one against the self.
Church of Trees with Restraint from the new album Transience. We are here chatting with Bernard Frazer. And Bernard, I wanted you to take a few moments, if you don't mind, and talk about the title track, Transience.
So I wanted to open and close the album with really bold statements, both lyrically and sonically. And That's All and Transience are kind of like a continuation of each other. Certainly lyrically, sonically, Transience is quite different. That's All is Stella's voice and Transience is my voice. But Transience is also rather experimental in a number of ways, particularly as it pertains to how we built it vocally. There, we kind of took a 10cc approach. I'm not in love approach by layering vocals and in fact, there's Heather's vocals start I think around bar 8 and continue for the entire song and never let up. We just keep adding and adding and adding to it. And so it sounds like she's singing a single note for the entire song, and then she's singing another note for the entire song, et cetera, et cetera. So we kind of really build on that, which is kind of fun. But it's kind of, I see Transience as kind of like my version of Ultravox's My Sex, in that it starts minimally and just builds and builds and builds, and it's a comment song. It's a reflection on the world around us, just as John Fox was reflecting on the world around him in My Sex. I'm reflecting, although in a much different way. I'm doing the same with Transience. My mantra on this song and on the entire album was, let's go too far. When I talked to my friend Larry Bethune, who did the guitar on Transience, the only words I said, he said, what kind of direction can you give me on how to approach it? And I said, just go too far. I want you to go as far as you can. And if you fall off the edge, that's fine. That's okay. And in fact, he did. And it sounded, I hate to say he went too far. There was a little bit that I didn't include, but the most of what he did, because he sent me 5 different tracks, and it was wild. We ended up adding all of the tracks in one way or another. But it kind of goes back to David Bowie and him talking about finding a place that's interesting to create. And I think, to paraphrase, if you can walk out into the water just a little bit farther so your feet don't quite touch the ground, you're in the right spot to do something really interesting. And that's what I was trying to do in the entire album, but particularly in Transience, was just to go a little bit too far to find an interesting place. And I think we did that.
So Bernard, before we spin this track, can you very quickly tell us how people can either buy or listen to Transience?
Transience, the album, is going to be is already available on our website, churchoftrees.com, and you can buy the CD from there. You can download the album, the digital files from there as well. It's also going to be available on Bandcamp, so if you want to just stream it or you want to buy the album or buy the CD, you can go to Bandcamp as well. The singles, only the singles will be available on streaming services, so Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, etc. I'm not putting the album up. For the album, you really have to go to either churchoftrees.com or our Bandcamp page.
Bernard Frazer, thank you so much for joining us today. Transience is brilliant. I'm sure, Aaron, I'm speaking on behalf of both of us. We love the album, and we are very happy that we had the opportunity to chat with you today. So let's listen to the title track. Here is Church of Trees with Transience.
Everything rages, life's away.